Red Nation, are we here? The best show for Chicago sports. Oh my God! Yeah. What's good? We back. The internet thought it could stop us, but you know it can't hold us down. What is good, everybody? It is your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Live. On today's episode, we're going to talk about our biggest takeaways from OTA. The Bears got a lot going on, and we got some interesting verbiage around the growth of Justin Fields, shall I say. Also, it seems like this Gobert news is actually getting serious, and maybe it's just me. What does that mean for LaVine being here? A lot of question marks around that whole situation. Gonna get into NBA Finals. Of course, random question of the day. All of that and more on today's episode of the Windy City Breeze Sports Talk Live. It's Friday, June 10th, and I'm ready to get this thing cracking, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with your boy as always. Yeah. How are you guys feeling today, man? Like I said, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again for another episode. If you're in here right now watching this thing, let's get this stream cracking on a Friday. I'm going to need y'all to go ahead and just...
Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Got a lot to get to here, man. Some early things to let you guys know about, though. Of course, if you haven't done so, get yourselves ready for Bears season. That Breeze merch is out now, so make sure you check that out over on twcbreeze.com. Cop you some of that Bears merch. Appreciate you guys showing support there. Also, got to let you know about what's going on. So me and Kid dropped some exclusive content. Views from the Bleachers podcast is back, by the way. We dropped some exclusive content for Breeze super fans, but also for those who rock with us over on the Patreon side of things. If you haven't rocked with us on the Patreon, check the link in the description below. YouTube gives us a bar. There's only so little I can charge people to be a Breeze super fan. So I think the entry on the Breeze super fans is $2-3, something like that. I don't know what it is. Actually, I think it's like $5, but I don't remember what it is. But on Patreon, I can charge pretty much whatever I want. So on the Patreon side of things, if you guys want that exclusive content, that podcast is going to be exclusive. It's going to be weekly, usually dropping on a Thursday, and it's just extra content from us. Like y'all got the extra hour the other day. There's a whole nother 2 hours that me and Kid did talking about Stephen A. Smith and JJ Redick going back and forth on the 80s and 90s. You can check that out over on the Patreon side of things. It is $2. $2. And listen, we're trying to do this for a career. So if you guys could help out at all, $2 a month to get all that exclusive content. You'll also have content with me and the wife over there. Not like that. Relax, y'all. We're not doing the OnlyFans thing on Patreon, but it'll be content where we're gonna have our own little show going as well. We're doing the whole content creation family. We'll have blogs and stuff over there as well. A whole bunch of stuff. So we appreciate all the love that you guys show, man. Make sure that you guys are hitting that like and follow button. Follow us over on the Twitters and all that stuff, man. But let's get into this, man. I've been on here rambling for a little while, man. It'll be 3 minutes of show of me just advertising myself. Shout out to the chat in the building, man. We got Jay in the chat, Steve-O in the chat, Shay in the chat. What's good? Datavius? Am I saying? Am I? Dantavius. That's a different one right there. All right, we're gonna call you Dan. Dan, what's good? Or Danto, either one. What up, Danto? What's going on with you, man? And then we got Baki in the chat as always, man. Hey, let's get into this because there's some interesting stuff that we heard a couple days ago. By the way, you know, this show is always rocking, always on. Comcast willing, and Comcast was not willing to rock with us yesterday, so we do apologize about that. I was getting the show ready. And that mug was just like, nah, bro, you're not doing a show today. But I am interested by what we heard a couple of days ago from Coach Flus and everybody else that was there for the Bears, right? Because I thought we got some interesting insight into where our team realistically is and where he feels this team can go. Especially after hearing everything about the what's it called? Hearing everything about you know, them getting the OTAs taken away and what that could mean for the Bears going forward, and just hearing from him. And so instead of hearing it from me, let's just go over to Coach Flus. Get that queued up here for you real quick, because I thought that there were some interesting nuggets into there and into the development of where Justin Fields realistically is. So let's get this cracking here. All right, bow and
as well as the players that we weren't coming in on Tuesday. And we resumed practice today on Wednesday for an OTA, and that was good. The league did not hand out fines to myself or to the organization for that particular violation. What we've done over the process of these OTAs, as I said, I think maybe it was after OTA number 2 that we've learned how to practice bears against bears and still run full speed and be able to practice during this time, during the phase 3 time where there's no, collisions or contacts and all those things. And we've improved on that severely and did a nice job, and the players have done a nice job. To go back to this Monday, we thought as a staff, and the players would attest to this, that it was our best practice coming off the break. And I told those guys that. I said, that's a tribute to them, the ability to focus and study over the break, come back on a Monday, and then really do a great job of executing. The offense had an outstanding day on Monday. I think I counted 11 chunk passes and 1 chunk run during that day. And I thought the defense today came back on Wednesday, did a really nice job of executing, had a lot of nice plays on the ball. You guys saw a couple of tips that were there, had some nice interceptions. And today we got a lot of good situations, a lot of 2-minute situations. You guys saw a lot of those, and some red zone scenarios. Into game plays, we got that as well. So it's been a real positive week for us. Guys are excited to be back in today, and we got one more day tomorrow. So we're excited about that. So I'll open it up to questions.
When these things happen with the plays that were in question, I guess, is it a result of, the way practice is structured, what drills you guys are actually doing, or a result of players maybe just getting overzealous and then you kind of have contact that isn't necessarily planned, or is it both?
I would say the latter. That it's just being under control. It's like I said, be quick but not in a hurry. Body control, being able to stay on your feet, and knowing the tempo. And those guys are doing a good job with that.
When you're alerted that there's a play that they don't think is fit for an OTA, and then they look at the film for later practices and see the play still there. Had you tried to make changes between the first and the second they didn't take? What's the process like between them seeing it in person and then them seeing it on film?
Yeah, I think what you do as a coach, during this time of year, when you see something that is what you say is, a little bit over the top, you bring it to their attention, you take it to the team meeting, and which I did, and you talk to them about it and say, hey, this is what we need to correct. This is what we need to do. And the guys have steadily improved on that process and are doing a really nice job at this point.
Safe to say it wasn't corrected enough. Safe to say it wasn't corrected enough when they saw it a second time, or when they saw you guys running the drill later?
I'm not sure how to answer that. Yeah.
Are you aware how this was brought to the league's attention?
Say it again.
Are you aware of how this was brought to the league's attention?
I am not.
That is the one question that I got. We'll keep it going, man. Who snitched? Who snitched? Yeah, I'm saying, who y'all think snitched? Let me know in the chat, man. Who y'all think snitched?
I am not.
Obviously, you don't want to lose in practice, but you focus so much on hustle and intensity, right? The first few letters of hits. So, is there any part of you that kind of likes to see that intensity in practice, even though it costs you?
Well, I think I stated before with our principle that we believe in, and that the hustle can be there, right? And it is, and you can see that. You guys are at practice. The guys run. They run on offense. They run on defense, and man, we run. But the intensity part. The focus part of intensity can be there, but not the physical part until we get the pads. Once we get the pads on in training camp, that's when we're going to focus on how we play the intensity piece. That cannot be done this time of year, so we can do the hustle part. But so we're excited where we are with that. There's guys that are flying around. They're really moving to the ball. It looks fast to me.
Did Braxton Jones show you something to say, hey, let's look at him with the ones, or was that just let's plug him in and see what it looks like?
Right. So early on in the OTAs, remember we talked about the you guys asked a question about the tackles, and I don't remember what media member it was, but we said, hey, we're going to move guys around and shift guys around. So it's the halfway point for us, right? So we had 6 practices, and then we got 6 or 7 to go at that point when we made the switch, and we wanted to change combinations. And that's not the only combinations we've changed, from tackle. We've moved some receivers around. Some guys are playing X, some guys are playing Z. We adjusted some guys on the defensive line. So we've done those things just to really find out, have a true evaluation of what's the best fit for us going forward in the training camp. We might like the other combination. We might like this combination. We might not like, either one of them. Now let's go to the one here in training camp. So we'll figure out what the best thing is. And that's really just more information for the coaches to find out what's best for the Bears.
Is that the same thing with Larry Borum playing right tackle and Kevin Jenkins? Looked like he was
same
today. Okay.
Yep. It's the same. It's exactly the same. So we're just trying to find the best combinations of people, especially when you're looking at the offensive line. Who's the best 5 guys out there so we can succeed? And it creates competition when you do that. When you're moving guys around, who can function at different spots. And who can really execute.
How much are pads a game changer for situations like that? When you're in pads and full speed and practice, can that totally change everything? I mean, isn't that when you really see what you've got?
That's your true evaluation when you get pads on. I've been in this a long time, and I've seen guys, man, they look great all the way through this part of the year, and then the pads come on and they stay on. And it's like pad number 4 or 5 in training camp, and then all of a sudden you see a guy slide. It's just because of the physicality of the game. Some guys are really suited to that, and those are the guys who succeed in the NFL. The guys that are not suited to that, they have a harder time, having that long success.
Matt, you've been around so many quarterbacks. Just the last 2 stops, Dallas, obviously with Dak and Indy. Through this stage, what's the potential nature of where Justin is and what you see thus far, given the quarterbacks that you've been a part of working with on the defensive side?
Yeah, so I can really probably compare this to Dak the most because he was young like this when I was there as a rookie and then a second-year player. And we saw him just grow before our eyes. And he's a talent, he's a guy that can, throw on time, but also make, extended plays and throw down the field. And that's where I see, where Justin is. And I'm not trying to compare those 2 players. They're different players, but certainly you can see the jump that we're going to make here with Justin. And I can see those things as he starts to mature in the offense.
How are you balancing a day like today where you're probably happy your defense got their hands on the football a lot, took the ball away, but maybe Justin was throwing into some tight windows sometimes? Like, how are you juggling that, your role as a head coach, looking at both sides?
Oh, it's our team. I don't say defense, offense. To me, it's like I said, the offense really did a nice job executing on Monday, and then today, defense, I thought overall did a good job executing. So when we're playing the game, that's going to happen during the course of the game. So we understand that, and I'll talk to the players about this, is that one side during the course of the game might struggle at first, or they're playing – the offense isn't, hey, that's a good football team. Sometimes it's, hey, that team has a really good offense. So our defense is really going to have to step up and play. Well, our offense is going to have to dominate that game, and vice versa. Or we're just having a hard time on playing on defense to start. Well, our offense has got to pick them up. It's the Bears. It's our football team, and the special teams connects it all together. So that's just a microcosm of the game. This week right here. Hey, offense played good, and then defense played good on the next day. So I think that's a great learning lesson. That hey, and then when we're both rolling, we're both hot. Guess what? We dominate our opponent. We win the game by 10 points. But typically in the NFL, that it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. It's going to be less than 7. So we got to be ready to go. That's why we're practicing all these situations, because that's what it comes down to in this league.
And going back to what you were saying about Justin Fields and his improvements and the jump maybe that you are hoping for this year, what have you seen through some of this on-field work that already looks like improvement from what you had researched coming into this based on his film?
Yeah, I would just say that Luke and Andrew are doing a great job with the footwork and the timing. That to me, it jumps out. Like you just asked that question, I just boom right there. That's no question. You see it in the drill work.
Than what you had seen on film.
Yes, absolutely. You can see it in the drill work. You can see them taking it from the drill work to the 11 on 11 reps, and that's clearly getting better. So I'm excited about that.
You had Jalen Johnson back that first string today. Is that a sign that his conditioning is back to where you wanted it to be?
Yeah, we just wanted to see where he was. He came in pretty good shape. I mean, he was in good shape when he came in, and we were just, assessing him where he was, and he's done a great job with that. He's learning the defense. It takes him a while, to learn the defense because, he just was coming in. So that takes a couple days to figure out, hey, what is this call? What is that call? And he's done a great job. And he played really good today, I thought. Yeah. Yeah, as you know, this time of year, I'm not commenting on guys that aren't on the field or on the field. So he's in the building, and that's all I can say at this time.
Hey, Matt, given that you guys are a new staff and you're installing new systems, is it a big deal to miss out on one OTA practice? Do you consider it something that will impact you guys down the road, or?
No, I don't actually see it as a big deal. What I do see, though, is this. As I see that our team, our football team, has to be able to adjust, adapt, and overcome and pivot in situations. So, how we handle this situation was awesome because our guys are like, okay, that's fine, boom, and then pivot to the next day and boom and go. And that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to do that to win games. And that's what I was excited about. So adversity is going to come. It's how you deal with it that matters.
Obviously, you have mandatory minicamp, but what do you think you learned about this group just through these OTA practices? Have you gotten to know them as well?
I would just say they're really team-oriented guys. Excited about that. The staff is the same. Guys are adjustable. They can move and adjust on the fly. Really smart. The attitude is outstanding. The togetherness, I can feel the team coming together. Because we've had great attendance, and I want to thank the players again for that because we're really starting to gel here and create the culture we want to create.
Matt, when the Bears looked like they were going to sign Larry Ogunjobi, the one thing that was most evident was what a good fit he was for your defense based on what you wanted to do. How does Justin Jones compare? What kind of fit is he, and how much of a transition is this going to be for him coming from the Chargers to your defense?
No, I think it's going to be pretty easy for them because they played a lot of what I call under front. So they set their 3 technique away from the tight end. So he's been playing some 3 technique. So that to me, that's why we really recruited him and brought him here is because we saw the visual evidence on tape that he could do the spot. So he's done a good job with it. It's in a takeoff position. I think it lends to his athletic ability, and he's just going to get better and better and better. So I didn't really see the jump because it was a 3-4 system. A lot of those guys are in under defense. So we really saw it on tape when we recruited him. So
is there any way to tell now, like just by what you see now, that that's going to work out like you thought, or do you have to make adjustments?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, obviously, I love the athletic ability. I love the man. I love his attitude. He's working super hard. And again, the evaluation will continue to go all the way through training camp. Like we said, when we put the pads on, then we get our true evaluation. But where he is right now, we are extremely excited about that.
That was Coach Flus and the Chicago Bears. It got some interesting insights into where this Bears team is and where he feels that this team is headed. You know what I'm saying? The thing that I liked most that I heard from him. Because press conferences, listen, we spent years with Matt Nagy, right? Remember when Nagy first got here? Nobody cares about what you say in the press conference. When Nagy first got here, he was saying all the right things as well. Oh, we love this guy, Nagy. Oh, he's a genius. He's our offensive guru. Yeah, I'm saying, like, it doesn't really mean anything. But the thing that you can get is insight into some of the things that he feels strongly about and what that's going to carry into on the field. The one thing that he said was when they asked him about where he felt the team or how he felt about Justin Fields and the offense kind of having a little bit of a struggle day on Monday, but the defense having a good day on Monday, right? And when he says that's the Bears, it's not offense, defense. That's something that stuck out to me because for me, right, when you're talking about this team as a whole, when you're talking about how this team's going to move forward, that's a realization that guess what? Even with the best offenses, there's some days that offense isn't going to click. How is your team going to step up in that moment? How is your team going to take that step? How's your team going to get to the next level? How are they going to keep winning ball games? That's an understanding. And I feel like it's an understanding, right, that maybe it was there and I just don't remember, but early on, right, it was all about how do you fix the offense? No matter what, how do you fix the offense? How do you fix the offense if the offense isn't going? Is the offense not going? How do you fix the offense? And it was because of how broken the offense was, right? But it was also, it felt like it was Matt Nagy in the offense and whatever Vic was doing with the defense. It didn't feel like the Chicago Bears. Now, this is OTAs, this is the beginning, but I like the mindset there to start off. Something else that stuck out to me with what Coach Flu said was when he was talking about Justin Fields and the step that he's taking and the strides that he's taking. And that's the part that we really care about, going back to the team, but then like Justin Fields. The strides that he's taking and the direction that he's moving, it seems like it's consistently forward, right? And that's a good sign. And it's not like he's talking about, oh no, he's lacing it in there. He's really dotting it up. He's making great plays here. He's doing it. It's the subtle things. It's the little things. It's the things that as a football fan, you might not notice them, right? Because you don't pay attention to them as much, but they're the things that matter the most. Footwork. Having good footwork. They're talking about how vast of a jump he made from the time that he got here to where he is now with his footwork and his mechanics, which tells you that he didn't come very far last season with his footwork and mechanics, which how could he if somebody's coming through and hitting him in the face every time, right? But the fact that he's talking about this early in the strides that he's making, he says he believes that he's going to have a similar jump what Dak Prescott had. Not saying that there's some players, not saying that he's going to have the same success as Dak, but that he's going to have that similar jump in skill set because they're improving the technical things about Justin Fields. They're moving Justin Fields in the right direction with the little things that really make you a good quarterback. You already seen that his passing stroke is much smoother, right? He's getting the ball out much quicker, much cleaner. On top of that, now you're adding in good footwork to that, and you're hoping to add in good pocket presence to that. But with all of that, and then on top of it, you throw in the fact that he can move around, and he can run away, and he can make so and that he was one of that stat with Matt Nagy to me is still the most wild ever. That Justin Fields on rollouts was a 136 QBR. A 136 QBR, which means he completed like 90 something percent of them. And we ran it 19 times the entire season. It blows my mind that that's a thing, but it seems like at least in the beginning here, right? They're going with the keep it simple, stupid method, which is the best method to go with. I'm not going to say like Stacey King says with basketball, football is a simple game because there's a lot of nuances to it. My favorite thing of all time is when ESPN 1000 on Waddle and Sylvia, they had Tom Waddle basically chart out all the things that have to go right to complete a simple hitch route in the NFL. And it was I mean, I think at least like 14 or 15 different things. You know what I'm saying? That to me, you can't say that football is a simple game. But when you're talking about the things that are going to make Justin Fields successful, when I say keep it simple, stupid, I'm talking about doing the things that your team is built to do on a consistent basis and improving upon those while developing your quarterback. That's how you get guys in good positions in the NFL. That's how you get guys to the point where they're playing at a better position, where they're starting to develop, where they're starting to move forward. That's how it's done. You look at these great teams. Bill Belichick doesn't go out there and come up with the most complicated system in the world with these new guys. What did he do with Mac Jones last season? Just get us through the games. This guy will be here. This guy will be here. This guy will be here. If nothing's there, check down. There was one game where he wasn't going to set his quarterback. You want to see the vast difference in the two of them? Justin Fields going in game one, first game starting ever, versus one of the best defensive lines in football, versus Bill Belichick looking at a blizzard game and realizing his rookie quarterback had some limitations. Those are the difference. Mac Jones threw it one time in a game because his quarterback has some limitations. Meanwhile, Justin Fields is dropping back, turning around to throw 37 times, getting murdered out there. That's your difference right there. And that's why I think that having Coach Flus in here, and I'm excited about where we're starting at, is because of him just keeping it very simple. Listen, we're going out here. We're not going too far. We're not trying to make all these extravagant moves day one. We know we've got a long way to go. Justin, get your footwork right. Learn the playbook, get your footwork right. That's where we're starting it off at. You know what I'm saying? And I'll tell you this, we're starting off as a run-heavy team, right? We're going to be a run-heavy offense starting this thing off. Let Justin Fields sling that pill. You'll see a transition. You'll see a transition there. You'll see all of a sudden it'll be like, hey, what happened to run heavy? He's slinging that pill. You have to at least like the mindset of Coach Flus. Whether it executes on the field or not, I like the mindset of him, right? It's still yet to be seen if he can be a head coach. That's the hardest part, right? I feel like he's a good defensive coordinator. Feel like he's a really good defensive coordinator. I feel like he's a guy that the players are gravitating to and they really enjoy. But I don't know if he can be a head coach. We still don't. It's OTAs. It's very early. But one of my big takeaways from this is that they're not trying to put too much pressure on these younger guys, and there's a lot of young guys in the building, to all of a sudden come out there and be the greatest player of all time day one. Be the savior of Chicago football day one. What's he saying? We're going to go with what works. We're going to run this football. You know why? Because David Montgomery's pretty good at what he does. And we're going to get Justin Fields moving in the right direction. Offensively, those are the two things that we've continued to hear. And offensively, those are the things that we've somewhat seen in OTAs. Now, Monday, I believe Justin did throw into a couple of tight coverages, got a couple of pass breakups. I think he threw a pick to Jaquan Brisker, which another takeaway from OTAs that I'm really excited about is the fact that we're seeing these young guys show out. We're seeing these young guys absolutely come out and show out day one, play one. That's something to absolutely be excited about. To me, that tells you a lot about the Bears picking talent over what the need was, right? But it does get me excited about where these young guys are starting off, because I think that there's some pieces on this team that are going to perform a little bit better than we expected early on. Now, on top of that, right, like I think the pass breakup was Jalen Johnson on Velus Jones. Velus Jones goes out there and gets him back. I like the back and forth. I like that we're doing that early. It's going to be interesting to see what this team looks like when the pad get on. We do have 3-day mandatory minicamp Next week, I believe it starts Tuesday to Friday, I think. No, Tuesday to Thursday. That's right. That's 3 days. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of what these guys look like. It's also going to be really interesting to see who comes into the building and where they're going to be. But I mean, I think there's a lot of these guys that you're looking at now, and you feel like, okay, we're starting to see this come together. We're starting to see this move in the right direction. It seems like the Bears are going to use what would have been successful last season. Understand me when I say this. It's not like I'm talking about something that's only here because we just got these pieces in. The heavy run offense would have been successful last season. We just didn't use it. It would have been successful last season. But we're going to use that. And it gets me excited for this Bears season. Not to say that they're going to go out there and win 12, but I do feel like they're going to go out there and win, or at least compete. The defense is going to be an interesting topic altogether, and I think that's the one thing that I think most Bears fans are most like, hey, we got are we sure we're going to see Robert Quinn on Tuesday? We sure about that? He going to be here? What's going on with that? Yeah, I'm saying that. I think that's where Bears fans are most kind of leery when you're talking about where this team's at. But even with that, right, like, what are you going to see when he does show up? Is he going to be in good enough shape to go early on? There's still a long way till football is there. But I do like that at a minimum, right, you're getting to see that run with these other guys before we get the mandatory. But let's see what and even I also want to play Cody White here as well, just kind of give us a look on the offensive line, because I think that's the other position that let's be real, that we're really worried about, right? Like, as much as we're like, hey, can Justin Fields play? It's also like, hey, is Justin Fields gonna be alive to play? So do want to get hear from Cody White here as well. Also, if you guys are in here, man, listening live, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on here. We got 56 in here, 18 likes on the video right now. So let's get that cracking. Let's get that moving in the right direction. Them likes, my boy. Let's listen in on Cody White here and hear what he had to say about OTAs and the expectations on the Chicago Bears. Hold on. Gotta unmute that.
But I feel like it's going in the right direction. Guys are.
Run it back.
So what was it kind of like looking around a little bit?
Yeah, it was a lot different than it has been. But I feel like it's going in the right direction. Guys are out there working hard and getting better, and that's all you can ask for.
We've been asking guys about having an OTA taken away. What's the difference between OTA practices this year and last year, if you had to describe it?
I mean, it's just, I would say it's intense. Don't get me wrong, but this team is young, and we kind of need that intense practice and expectation from the group to, we do have, like I said, a lot of young guys, and the expectations are high. So you got to expect an intense practice, and I feel like the guys have really worked hard and have gotten a lot out of it.
What have you learned over the years? How to practice hard, but kind of up to the point of contact, and also how to stay on your feet and not go to the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's tough to do, especially inside. When that's kind of our job is, to fire off the ball and stuff like that. But, I think guys have done a good job overall. Obviously, there's going to be some times where there's guys on the ground. It's just a physical game. But I think for the most part, they've handled it well.
Do you appreciate the fact that the NFLPA is essentially trying to protect you guys, or do you think it's silly?
No, I mean, there's obviously the balance there, Like I said, for us, it's just, we just got to be pros about it and, make sure we're not on the ground or doing anything extra.
Is it more difficult for guys up front, especially when it's like you kind of only go one speed, to like rein back some of that physicality when you're in shorts?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but there's obviously even more physicality that comes in when you put pads on. There is a little bit more finish, I guess, if you will. But, like I said, we just got to continue to be pros, with the situation and keep getting better at technique and the fundamental side of things and do our thing there.
This is your third different regime now, the head coaching regime. Have you been struck by the intensity of these practices? Has it stood out, or is it something that's just kind of an observation?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we're a young team. The intense practices are good for us. They're going to help us in the long run. I think the biggest thing is, guys are just getting in shape and, learning the offense, learning the defense. It's totally new for a lot of us. I like the direction our team's going, and I think we're going to, continue to get better.
Cody, where do you detect the areas of improvement specifically in Justin?
I just feel like he's more comfortable. His leadership has taken a step, and I think that just comes from him being more comfortable from year one to year two, a little bit more experience, seeing things, a second time or third time or fourth time, and he's only going to continue to grow.
Cody, he's been credited with, having, like you say, command of the huddle. How does his command of the huddle make you better and make the offense better?
Well, I think just when he comes in to, enunciate the play or give us, what we need to know to get out there and execute the play, it's just a lot more smooth. He says it with more confidence. And like I said, I think that's just, him developing from year one to year two. But we like where Justin's at and, really excited for the year.
You guys are rotating people around up front. How long can you do that before you really like just to have a group?
Yeah, I mean, as we all know, the offensive line forever changes. There's injuries, there's, all sorts of things. But, the one thing they have been apparent with us is they're going to play the best five. And, if, that's what we want. We want that competition. We want, to bring out the best in every player. So, that's all you can ask for. And the guys have responded really well. They're giving great effort. They're, really doing good things out there.
With the amount of rookies and young guys in your room, what have things been like with Lucas Patrick coming in? You guys kind of being the
Lucas has been with Coach Getty, and so just having that aspect as far as the playbook, helping those young guys out, because even as a 7-year guy, I'm still learning new things too. So but we try and all help each other out. Lucas has been a great presence in our O-line room, and he's a lot of fun, good player, and very smart and intelligent. So he's definitely brought that to the group for sure.
You saw Braxton.
I've lost a little bit. I've probably lost 10 pounds maybe. Feel good. I'm ready to roll.
When Ryan Poles came in and talked about setting a standard for every player about what their weight should be, what has that been like?
It's been pretty easy for me. I really wasn't too heavy, I guess, if you will. But it's been pretty smooth.
We saw Braxton Jones stepping in at left tackle. What has he brought to that position? What have been your impressions of him so far?
Yeah, Braxton's a tough kid, very athletic. He's got really long arms as well. He's learning. As hard as that is to be thrown in the fire like that. I felt like he's responded well, and excited to see what he can bring.
How do you feel like Getsy's scheme fits you personally?
Yeah, I enjoyed a lot. The whole weight thing, I think just getting in shape and being able to move well and get to the second level. But, I've enjoyed it so far.
You miss playing center?
I don't care where I play. I just love being out there and playing ball.
That was Cody White here of the Chicago Bears. Some interesting insight in there to me. Into the mind of where this offensive line needs to be. And of course, the one thing that's constant, right, if you listen to all of the Bears interviews from yesterday or a couple days ago, I don't think any of them care that OTA, including Coach Flus, that OTA practice was taken away. I don't think any of them care in the slightest that OTA practice was taken away, because they're out there. They're like, listen, we out here hitting. We out here placing some hits on these boys. And I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to keep hitting. And when we get to mini camp, we're going to keep hitting. And then guess what? When we get to the season, we're going to keep hitting. Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of them, I do love that, right? Like, you listen to all of them, you're like, yeah, I think it's just a lot of young guys trying to prove themselves, high intensity. Coach Flu's like, they didn't find me. They didn't find the team. We're good. Whatever. We lost the practice. These guys are hitting each other, taking out on each other. It is what it is. But I'll say this, right? Like, the one thing that he talked about that kind of stood out to me for where Justin is and command wise and how this offensive line is going to be able to protect him. I love the competition that's created, but I love that Coach Flus is creating with the movement and stuff like that. Guys are moving up, moving down, playing in different positions. But I also love the fact that there's a want to prepare all of these young guys that are possibly going to have to step up. There's an understanding on this team of where you realistically are, right? Like Flus is coming in, doesn't know if Cody White here is going to be healthy, doesn't know if where Braxton Jones is essentially going to be by the start of the season, trying to get him ramped up, doesn't know if Tevin Jenkins' back is going to hold up, so you got to make sure. I think that's the biggest thing, right? When we talked about Larry Borum playing right, Larry Borum playing left, and you're seeing Braxton Jones play left, and Tevin not really. I don't think Tevin went today. I believe Larry Borum played right or yesterday, and Braxton played left, and then Tevin played with the twos, I believe. There's an understanding there that, like, hey, like, I understand you're a rookie. I get that this is your first time in the NFL, but you might got to step up, bro. There might come a day, there might come a time, there might come a point in this Bears season where we realize that our starting left tackle or right tackle, I hope he starts at right tackle. I really do. I'd rather see him play the position that he understands. That our starting, and both of them, Borum included, might not be in there. You might have to step in and play right away, preparing these guys early, getting them ready for the job that they might realistically have to do. That's what I want to see. And like I said, there's not a lot you can glean from OTAs. There's not a lot that you can glean from these press conferences and people talking and everybody's going to say the right thing, right? Nobody's going to go up there and be Justin Fields was garbage today. I can't believe nobody's going to come out and do that. It's not realistic, right? And nobody's going to come out there and trash their own teammates because we're not even at the beginning of the season. They got to play an entire season with these guys. The thing that I do like is that they're talking about how you're putting guys in a position to be successful and preparing guys to be in the position that they're more than likely a possibility to be in, right? How many injuries have we had on the O-line? How many guys have we had to see step in? How many names have we had to see? And when they stepped in, they look completely unprepared for the moment. I like that Flus is getting these guys ready for moments that, let's be real, if there's a car accident up front every day, I wish perfect health on the offensive line. But the realisticness of it is that there's not going to be perfect health on this offensive line. But how many times have we seen those guys step in unprepared? Now they'll be stepping in at a minimum prepared to play. Now, game speed is a completely different thing, but it looked at times last season when guys stepped in that they didn't understand what the system was. They didn't understand what the calls were. They didn't understand where they were supposed to be. They didn't understand, what the snap count was. They didn't understand, like all the little things, all the nuanced things that when somebody starts, you might take for granted because he's used to being in that position. I like that Braxton Jones is getting some run with the ones. I like that Kyler Gordon's getting some run with the ones. Jalen Johnson getting some run with the two. I like that. They said conditioning. I think it's preparedness. Jalen Johnson's had a couple of injury issues since he's been up here. Some games he wasn't. Is Kyler Gordon going to be prepared to play the one? To be your number one DB? Keeping it simple, but moving people in the right direction. That's my biggest takeaway from OTAs so far. That's my biggest takeaway from OTAs. Some of the comments here, Justin said they didn't even understand pick your quarterback up after you failed him. Yeah. Or at least protect him. Yeah, or at least go over there and say something to the guy that just body slammed him to the ground 3 times. Meanwhile, Jermaine Ifedi's sitting here trying to get on the young fella for protecting his QB. Oh, it cost us some yards. At least he showed some heart. At least there was some heart on the field with him. preparedness and understanding. I don't know how many games this Bears team is going to win. I don't. I'm not going to pretend like I feel like this team is coming out here and dominating this season, although I think they have a schedule to do that. But I do feel like this team is going to be prepared on Sunday. I didn't feel like that with Nagy. We didn't win one bye week. We didn't win one bye week coming off the bye. Unprepared, undisciplined. Unprepared and undisciplined. Should have been Mark Trestman out there. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rock with us. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We're going to keep this thing moving along, man. Because there's a lot more interesting things going on the NBA side for me, as well as the NFL. But I do appreciate you guys for showing love on the show, man. You guys pull up all the time. Everybody was hitting me up yesterday like, where the heck is Pat? What's going on with Pat? Everything good, my boy? What's happening over there? Yeah, I mean, like, Comcast wasn't playing with your boy. So if you in here right now, man, and you enjoying the show, do me a favor and
Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Also, if you guys have not done so, we've got views from the Bleachers podcast back. First episode over on the Patreon. This is exclusive, well, really second episode, but this is exclusive content. You know, if you're a Breeze super fan, you can already get it. Go check out the community tab. Only the Breeze super fans can see. You can already get that as well if you want to join up on the Breeze super fans, man. You can do that as well. But if you just want to hear the podcast, you just want to get some of that exclusive content, you don't need the custom emojis that come with it. You can check that out over on the Patreon as well. The Patreon is under Pat the Designer. You can also check the link in the description below. There's a huge spider crawling down from my ceiling right now, and it is concerning in the background. I gotta spray the basement, brother. If anybody knows a good bug spray that's a go-to for spraying your house down, good Lord, that just caught me all the way off guard. No, but if you guys want to check out the Patreon as well, check that out. Pat the Designer. Actually, I'd throw that mug up there, man. Make sure y'all get in tune with that. So we got the latest views from the Bleachers podcast live right there over there. Only $2 to join. Only $2 to join. If you could give $2 to the young, struggling entrepreneurs of America Fund, we appreciate it. Shay, what the heck you talking about? Don't tell nobody you got insects in your house. Shay, insects get in the house. Spiders live in your house. What am I supposed to be embarrassed that there's spiders in the house? Get out of here. Oh my God, I got little bugs in my house. Quit crying. Like, it's a spider. Like, not a. Here's a question for you, though. It's something that I found interesting because at first it was like Gobert's coming to the Bulls and everybody, yeah, whatever. Rudy Gobert could be traded to the Bulls. Yeah, whatever. Hey, it's clickbait, right? That's what everybody told me. You're doing this for the clickbait. Now it seems like those talks are realistically heating up. Although, even with those talks, right, like, there's some players on the market that I think you could get for much cheaper. And bring in and they could give you good contribution. Y'all see me have that stroke right there? But if Rudy Gobert is to come to the Chicago Bulls, what does that mean for Zach LaVine? I think that's the part that is Rudy Gobert the piece that comes with Zach LaVine? Or is Rudy Gobert the piece that is here because Zach LaVine is no longer here? That's the interesting thing to me. That's the piece that I think a lot of people haven't thought about, right? Because the Bulls, AK doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's going to go through a full-on rebuild. Let's blow this thing up. Let's figure it out from the beginning. It seems like he's a guy that wants to win and win immediately and show his impact and show his worth and show that he's going to compete every single year. Where does, if a Rudy Gobert deal is made, what does that mean has happened this offseason? And as Daniel Greenberg has tweeted out, which is my favorite. Daniel Greenberg is my favorite dude on Twitter because Daniel Greenberg literally just tweets what other people say so that none of the backlash can come on him. But he tweets out, shout out to Baki for sending this to us as well. According to KCJ Hoops, that's Casey Johnson, Nikola Vucevic is under the impression that he's going to be on the Chicago Bulls next season. That's a bit of interesting news there because Vooch potentially would be a part of every trade that could be made if the Bulls were going to go after a Rudy Gobert or even a John Collins. You know, no matter what the trade, the one constant is that Vooch probably is a part of that trade because of his expiring deal. That becomes the question mark on this team. That becomes like, are they going to go make a big splash move? Are they going to go make a hey, this is the guy we need. This is the piece we're going after. This is where we're looking. Yeah, I mean, like if you're not including Vooch in that, you're probably not going for a bigger name piece. Vooch getting $25 million this season. And so you're talking about a player that's going to be on a $25 million expiring contract, eats up enough of the cap that you're able to make a deal, but also coming on that expiring deal. That's enticing to a lot of teams. And Vooch isn't a bad player. Vooch is a guy that absolutely can go out there and get you a bucket. And if you make Vooch the number one again on a team, Vooch absolutely can be, or the number two even, Vooch absolutely is going to go out there and get you a bucket. I think that he's an interesting piece in this whole thing. He's probably the biggest piece in this whole thing if you're going to make a deal for anybody, and on the big man side of things, right? And we kind of talked about it on Locked On Bulls. Me and Hayes talked about it yesterday, right? Like, where's the direction that this team's going with some of the players that they're looking at in the draft? Would you go shooting? Would you go big man? What's the more important piece there? But it does seem like a lot of people are feeling like Rudy Gobert could be a Chicago Bull. Yeah, I'm saying a lot of people are that are around the NBA looking at this are like, nah, Rudy Gobert really fits with this team. To me, Rudy's a guy that you could go after. It's a deal that Utah wouldn't mind getting done. Especially if they can get Vooch and re-sign Vooch for a little bit of nothing. Yeah, I mean. But what does that mean for where this team is at? Does that mean that Zach LaVine is still here? That's the biggest question to me. Because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not looking for a team with DeMar DeRozan, Rudy Gobert, and no Zach LaVine, no Nikola Vucevic, and Patrick Williams. That team's not, yeah, I mean, at that point, you might as well just draft the big and see what develops if Zach LaVine's not sticking around. So for me, I'm intrigued by the name Rudy Gobert, and I wouldn't mind the Bulls going to get him. But now we're hearing more names come onto the market, right? Saw a couple of tweets that got dropped in the Discord today. By the way, if you guys have not hopped in the Discord, man, you got to make sure that you hop in the Discord because the Discord be giving you all the tea over on the Bulls side. I'll drop that in here. We heard about OG Anunoby being dissatisfied with his role out in Toronto. And a few players in Toronto being dissatisfied with their role. John Collins being made available. A lot of interesting pieces out there. I think more pieces will come. I think we're just getting to the tip of this. This is the thing, right? You want to be in the best position to win now. Maybe not win a championship now, but win as much as you can now. And then when you're ready to go get that big name disgruntled free agent, also be in a position to do that. Because we already know how that happens. There's some disgruntled superstar every year. There's absolutely some disgruntled superstar every single season. And right now, I'm not going to lie to you, right now, how I think the Bulls are operating is very much like what we're seeing the Rams do. Different sports, I get it. But there's some teams that are just like, you want to win? Yeah, I want to win. You want to win championships? Yeah, I want to win championships. This is what it's going to cost. All right, let's do it. And it seems like the Bulls are becoming that team. They're going to go into the luxury to pay Zach. They're seeming like they're in the market for big fish players. Whether you like him or not, Rudy Gobert's a big fish player. They seem like they're in the market to go after big names. That's a very different way that the Bulls have operated. I will say the thing that cracks me up most, and me and Hayes kind of chopped this up on Locked On Bulls as well. The thing that cracks me up most is how many people hated Garpax, but will absolutely throw Garpax trades in here or Garpax signings in here. That is the one part that cracks me up to no end. No matter what with the Chicago Bulls, Bulls fans will come in here, and I think it's because we're scarred. I think it's because we've already gone, but like, dog, Mitchell Robinson's a Garpax move. Ken Burke, he said Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley is a Garpax move. Going to get dudes that were failed first-round picks, Garpax move. Going to get dudes that are the cheap option, Garpax move. We're spending money. We're not living in cheap no more. AK is not doing things the cheap route. He's spending this money. He's paying Vooch $20 million. Mo Bamba, Garpax move. You're going to get potential that probably won't turn into nothing. You want to know our version of Mo Bamba before Mo Bamba? Otto Porter Jr. That's what we like. Like, we throw these Garpax moves out there left and right. It's okay to go after big money players. This is Chicago. We are one of the major markets in the NBA. I disagree, Pat. AK comes from Denver. They never spent money. Jamal Murray makes a pretty good chunk of change, don't he? I can't really put Michael Porter Jr. on him, which was a terrible signing, just because of the back. I can't really put Michael Porter Jr. on him because he wasn't there for MPJ when he got paid. But I mean, do we think that he wasn't going to pay Jokic? It's about spending, and I can't say Denver never spent money. Like, I mean, how far back do we want to go with it? You know what I mean? Like, they've spent money on that team multiple times. They haven't made flashy trades, but I think that went out the window the second we saw AK go get Vooch. He's not operating under the full same mindset that they were in Denver. They wouldn't have traded for Vooch in Denver. They wouldn't have made a big splash trade like that in Denver. It's clear that AK's not operating under the same mindset that Denver has. Similar principles, right? Going and finding and similar what's the word? Similar principles and similar intangibles with what you're able to go get. He went out and got Io in the second round, very similarly, hopefully in the same fashion, that he found Nikola Jokic in the second round, right? Hopefully that's what That's what Marko Simonovic becomes in the second round. But this ain't Denver. AK knows this ain't Denver. AK knows Jerry wants to win. Michael wants to win. Mark Eversley understands that. DeMar DeRozan making money. We're not operating under the same principles as Denver. You paid a 31-year-old 80 million, DeMar making? For 80 million over 3? It's a heck of a contract. 3-year, 81 million. Don Burr, what's going on, man? We were talking about you the other day. It's a different mentality. We got a different head coach. It's okay for the Bulls to go out and spend money. It's okay for us to go into the luxury tax. We are Chicago. Garpax has beaten us into this mindset. And I'm not going to lie to you, there's some of the deals that I look at and I say, yeah, I like that too. I wouldn't be mad at a Mitchell Robinson, but can we get something better with that mid-level exception? It also depends on what we do in the draft. Also, is Mitchell Robinson going to pick Chicago? But it's okay for us to spend money. It's okay for us to not have money. It's okay. You know why? Because if we don't have money, it means we're trying to win. Would you be mad at DeAndre Ayton? I'd be mad at DeAndre Ayton at $33 million a year. Just because I feel like he's a very inconsistent player. Tails says, that's why I'm saying Nikola Jokic. Jokic ain't coming. Jokic ain't coming. The one thing that I'll say, and I've said it on this show many a times, European players are very loyal. European players are very they stay home more times than not. They usually will end up getting traded before they end up leaving. I don't even think Jokic is in play for the Chicago Bulls. Maybe he becomes disgruntled and wants out, right? Like, I'm going to be real with you. Like, I don't think Rudy Gobert really wants to leave Utah. I think they're just going to pick Donovan Mitchell over Rudy Gobert. So I think there's a lot of nuance to the whole situation. But the one thing that I will say is that excites me is that this team is, or AK and Mark Eversley are willing to go after the big fish. That we're in the whether you like Rudy Gobert or not, whether I think there's kind of a split in Chicago on whether he's a good player, whether he's not, whether he can be what the Bulls need or not, whether he's making too much money or not, right? There's a big split there. But the one thing that I can say is that the Bulls are in on a big fish in free agency and in trade talk. That's different. We've never really been in, right? We've never really been into these talks. We've never really been involved in, like, they were there. They happened. LeBron was intriguing, but were we really getting these guys in the building with the mindset that Garpax had? That's the question. Because if we were really going to get those guys in the building, you figure out how to get Chris Bosh here. And again, small-minded mentality. What do we love? The bench mob. You got to have the bench mob. You got to have a bench. Did Miami win with the bench mob? There was some pieces on the bench that were nice. You got to go out and get some pieces. But when you got LeBron, Chris Bosh, D-Wade, you can find pieces. That's that mentality. We can't get rid of our bench mob. We can't get rid of all these guys just to get Chris Bosh here. Let's get away from that. We're not there no more. We're Chicago, baby. We can spend money. It's okay. I promise it is. That's what I want to see my team do. That's where I want to see my team get to. That's where I want to see this Bulls team take that next step to, because I feel like that's been the thing that we haven't done. And even with Bulls fans, right, all we think is, oh, we got to go get this guy. We got to get this small fry. We got to get this small fry. We got to go get this dude here. If we just add these small pieces here, we'll be a championship team. No, we won't. You need big fish. It's the NBA. You need big fish. You just do. And we're the type of city that should be able to go out and get big fish. Kid Burke says, I understand what you're saying, Pat, but if we go on my history, the Bulls never really spend money in free agency. Again, how much did Carlos Boozer make? He wasn't cheap. We've spent money in the wrong places. And we've spent money on our homegrown more than on our outside of here. We spent money on Derrick Rose. We spent money on, I'm saying Jimmy got like the extension, but he didn't end up getting the big one. I'm saying we went out and paid Carlos Boozer. We went out and paid Pau Gasol. Like, they weren't coming here for pennies on the dollar. But it's about actually being in the conference. And we overpaid for those guys because we missed out on the big fish. Now we're in on the big fishes. That's a mindset right there. Hey, we got to switch it. The names that we're talking about, hey, we're a winning team. We're a team that people want to come play for per Garpax. I'm sorry, per Acme. We're a team that people want to come rock with per Acme. Guess what? When people want to play with you, it costs you less money sometimes to get them. Both Boozer and Gasol were well out of their prime. I didn't say they weren't. I agree with you. We spent money in the wrong places. I didn't say that they weren't. I just said we spent money on them. It wasn't cheap contracts that they came here for. Now we're able to go out and spend money on guys that are worth spending money on. That's the mindset I want Bulls fans to have. Because even now, some of the deals that we talk about, very Garpaxian. I've made them an entire state of people. Yeah, I'm saying I'm gonna start categorizing people off of their deals. That's gonna be the country they're from. Garpaxia. Because some of the deals that people send me, why am I making small fry moves this offseason? Let's go get Bogdan. Which one is it that's out in Utah? Let's go get Bogdanovich. Why the heck am I going to get a 33-year-old injury-prone player? Why the heck would I want to go get Bogdanovich? He can shoot the ball. I can draft that. I can trade for that. Let's get out of Garpaxia. You know what I mean? Let's move over to Acmeville. Let's get up out of Garpaxia. If we package these deals together, Kobe White, and we take this and this, and we can end up with Fred VanVleet. Huh? Yeah, I mean, like, you guys have seen the deals. You guys have heard the deals that a lot of Bulls fans are looking to make. I'm not the only one that's looking at them. Some of you guys are the ones making the deals. I ain't gonna lie to you. But they living back in Garpaxia. Garpaxia burnt down with the last regime, baby. Let's go over to Acmeville. You know what they got in Acmeville? Wins. They got wins over there. So hey, listen, I think there's some interesting names out there. I think there will be some disgruntled superstars that probably want to make a little bit of a move. I'm not gonna lie to you, Shea keeps dropping this name. I wouldn't be mad at going out and figuring out how to get a Domantas Sabonis over here. I wouldn't be mad at that. How do you get that guy in the building? 26 years old, fits your timeline, 18 points a game, 55% from the field, 23% from three. You don't get their three-point shot out, but that's with the Kings. 32% when he was with the Pacers. 18 and 12. Those are big name moves. How do you figure out how to get those guys in the building? Because I'll tell you what, he's a guy to keep an eye on because the Kings will not be good. The Kings will not be good. We will absolutely be talking about a Kings team that is going to fumble the bag on that. And they went and got Mike Brown, which I feel bad about because I don't want Mike Brown to have to coach that team again. What's his contract? What's he got going on? He's on a 4-year contract right now. He's got 2 years left on the 2022-2023. I guarantee midway through the season, he's going to want out of Sacramento because they're going to be abysmal again. I mean, let's go for some big fish. They fish big and they catch salmon. They catch trout out in Acmeville. Over in Garpaxia, they're getting the bluegills. I don't want bluegill no more. We've been eating bluegill for 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. I can't say all of that. D-Rose is pretty good. D-Rose is a pretty good time. But even with D-Rose, dog, we had Derrick Rose in the building and we couldn't get a big fish. Because we just couldn't blow up the almighty bench mob. I love those players. Don't ever think I'm slandering them. But they're not worth what some of the things that we refuse to give them up for. We couldn't give up Taj Gibson and Joakim Noah and all those guys because that's the heart of the team. You know what the new heart of the team would have been? LeBron James, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh. We can't give up Luol Deng and gut this team to go get Kobe Bryant. How are we going to win games? Kobe dragged a terrible team to the NBA Finals. I wish it would have been ours. Garpaxia. Get out of Garpaxia. Let's get over to Acmeville. What are we calling it? Acmeville? Or I went Acmeville because it felt right. I think who said who said somebody dropped a good one in the chat. Levante said Acmetropolis. Nah, that one doesn't roll off the tongue as smooth. That one doesn't roll off the tongue as smooth. But how do you win in this? This is the thing. It's about how you win in this NBA. How do you win in this NBA? You need stars. You need stars. Is Zach LaVine a star? Sounds like it. Acme Land? That sounds freaky. I ain't gonna lie to you, Skos. Acme Land sounds freaky. I don't know about that one. That sounds like an island with some issues. I don't know about Acme Land. That's a weird one. But is Zach LaVine a star? I feel like he is. 27, 5-5. I feel like he can be 100% healthy. He's a star, especially playing next to Lonzo Ball. Help with Vooch. Help with DeMar. But you got to have more stars than just one, especially when you're talking about just stars. I don't think Zach LaVine's a superstar. I think he can dip into superstar level. I think at times he's a superstar level scorer, but it's not consistent. but he's a consistent star to me. But how do you get to the point where how do you get to where the Boston Celtics are now, right? To me, they've got 2 stars. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, those are 2 stars in the NBA. You could be talking about 2 superstars if they win this championship. But they got there with star-level players. Who's the second star? Is that going to be Patrick Williams? Maybe. That's a potential piece. You don't know. Is that going to be Ayo Dosunmu? Maybe. That's a potential piece. You don't know. Is that Lonzo Ball if he can get healthy? Maybe. Another potential piece. You don't know. I need known stars. You don't get to the NBA Finals with you don't knows. I don't knows. He might be. He maybe is. That could be. There's a process to this, man. It's going to take some time. I don't know if by next season we're going to be in superstar, or not superstar, if by next season we're going to be in championship level contention, right? But what I do know is that you're putting the pieces in place where you might be able to go out there and get a piece that helps you get to championship level contention. 2 years left on Sabonis. Sabonis might be 28 by that time. 2 years left on Sabonis. He might be 28 if he plays out that contract. You'll be out of everybody's money by then. Then you can go get a big name fish. That's what you got to figure out. You look back at the championships. Look back at the championships. Who are the teams that have won championships? Steph Curry, superstar. LeBron James. Kobe Bryant. Dirk snuck one in there. Tim Duncan. Realistically, I'm talking about 5 dudes that lead the last 30 years of championships. Steven said J. Cole. Hey, bro. Hey, listen. Cole going over there playing in Canada, that's cool. I give him all the credit and shout out to you, brother. Hey, look, I'm going to tell you this right now. It's going to take me getting back in a lot of shape. But J. Cole ain't just dropping buckets on me on nothing. I don't care if you did make it to a professional level. J. Cole ain't just coming in here and dropping buckets on the regulars, bro. Yeah, I mean, come on now. That mess, every time I see Cole out there, bro, that mess cracks me up. His career high is 6 points now, 2 3-pointers, wide open. That cracks me up, bro. Oh, man. What else we got on the docket today, bro? Hey, the J. Cole thing, I'm not gonna lie. It did kill me because it's like it's one of those things that like you see Cole hooping and it's like, oh, good shot. But then after a while, you're like, bro, like, why is Cole out there? Hey, bro, you trying to live out your dream of playing in the NBA or playing professional basketball. Can we get, I understand we just got some music, but I need a little bit more. Let me get some more up out of you. Let me get some more music up out of you, brother. You out there trying to hoop in the corner. You're trying to knock down that corner 3. I'm trying to get some corner drops. Hey, man, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it fresh out here. We don't want to take too much time just talking about nothing out here, especially on a day where it's just your boy. Yeah, I'm saying, hey, only I can give you a 2-hour show solo and must be entertained out here. Don't play with me. And this ain't your Colin Cowherds out here, my boy. This ain't yeah, I'm saying this ain't Colin Cowherd out here. This is your boy coming through and giving you good content for a couple of hours. We didn't watch some interviews, some breakdowns, all that good stuff, man. Stop playing with your boy. Hey, we do want to get to a segment that we like to call the question of the day, though. Hey, over on the Twitter already dropped. We're going to get to some of the questions that we missed the other day. What Baby Blue? What if J. Cole was a star? If J. Cole was a star, I wouldn't be talking about I could hoop him up. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be talking about I could stick J. Cole. But no, getting to the question of the day, man. We answered some of these questions live on the air. Appreciate some of you guys for taking or dropping some questions on here. If you haven't dropped some questions, you also can drop some questions in the chat. But when we go to doing pre-recorded, which is coming very, very soon, we're doing that possibly, I don't think next week, maybe week after next, we're going to be calling games. We're going to be pre-recording the Daily Show. Still dropping it at 11 to 1. Everybody will still be able to get in their Daily Show content, but we're going to be pre-recording the Daily Show. And we want to still be able to talk with you guys. I believe Monday through Thursday will be pre-recorded. Friday, we should still be live on most Fridays, but Monday through Thursday will be pre-recorded versions of the Daily Show. I'm still going to try and give you guys 2 hours worth of content. Some days, if the conversation is going well, you might get longer. So appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us as always, man. Hit that like button if you haven't done so. Let's get into our question of the day. Let's see what we got here from Uncle Willie's son. He says, that's a wild name, by the way. He says, next season, I'm planning on coming to the city for a game or two. What's the best spots to eat, get a drink? Ooh, depends on what game you're going to. If you're going Cubs, you really can't go wrong. Billy Goat Tavern's still up, right? Y'all drop some names in here. Drop some bars or spots that's just great spots to go eat out in the city. I'm not an out and about guy. This probably would have been a great one to have Kid on. I'm not a real out and about guy. Y'all know I like to watch games from home. Unless it's a Bulls game, you know what I'm saying, real close, I'll go to the stadium for that. But or a Sox game, really. But like football, I'm at the crib. I'm not entertained by Cubs games. So my boy asked me, shout out to J-Mar. J-Mar be in the chat and in the Discord. Gibson's is a great one. Ashaval is a great burger place to hit up. They got some of the best burgers in the city, man. Pepe says Lucky's. Steve-O says Maggiano's. Of course, Giordano's. You know, all the classics, my boy. The interesting thing is that like I'm a eat before you go in, drink at the game guy. So for me, right, like I'll go out and eat, and I'm eating something light. I'm not eating heavy because I want to feel that buzz at the game. Can never go wrong with Portillo's. That's true. That's a fact. If you're looking for a cheap spot, yeah, I'm saying you check out Portillo's, man. Shout out to Uncle Willie for the question, man. There's a bunch of spots that you definitely could get into, my boy. Here's an interesting one from Corey. Are you objectively able to criticize Chicago teams? Seems like you cheer on all their moves, bro. Love the show. Am I I cheer on all their moves? Would y'all say that I've cheered on all their moves? I don't know if what moves have I mean, I guess I've cheered on most of the Bulls moves because I don't think they've made a lot of bad ones. But I think I pretty much crushed them. Maybe Corey didn't see me before the Bulls got here. They got to this point because I'm pretty sure I crushed the Bulls for pretty much most of their moves. I crushed the Bears for most of their moves. I crush the Sox almost consistently, although we don't really talk a lot of Sox on here, although we will change that because there's not a lot left to talk, so we're gonna have to start talking some baseball. I will say this. Tony La Russa's got to be the worst manager in baseball. If you want to hear me criticize something, there's my criticism for the day. That move yesterday, one to leave Cease in there in the fifth when you knew he was struggling And then on top of that, to walk Turner 1 and 2 intentionally, not even like just I'm going to throw it outside, intentionally. And then it doesn't work out anyway. Like, even if it works out, it's still a dumb move. Like, dog, get Boomer out of there, bro. Like, good Lord, bro. There's some moves Tony makes that it's just like, Jesus. Like, are you even watching the game, or did you wake up? I swear to God, I feel like Tony woke up at 1-2. I swear I feel like when it got to 1 and 2, Tony just, what? Walk him. What are you talking about, Tony? Walk him. Oh, tired. What else we got in here? That's the one that set us off yesterday. Here's a good one. Is Ringo actually from Chicago? He seems to not be a fan of any Chicago sports team. So Ringo's from Chicago. Ringo is from Chicago, but his parents gave him the right to choose, and Chicago sucked when he was growing up. So he ended up picking the Giants, who I believe won a Super Bowl at that point. The Heat, who I guess he just liked them because of the colors. I mean, I don't even know some of his other teams. He's a Blackhawks fan though. Like, I will say this, right? Ringo's family is the only black family I know that is avid Blackhawks fans. Like, they could tell you the lineup on the roster right now. So he's a bandwagon. No. You got to understand, like, when the Giants won a championship, he probably picked them then, but also he was like 8, 9, something like that. And then on the other side, with the Heat, Ringo actually is like a Heat fan. Like, he could tell you some Heat history, some Heat teams that you would look at and be like, well, that's interesting. You know what I mean? Like he's a Heat fan. He don't jump off of his Heat. Although he do be saying we a lot when it comes to the Bulls, don't he? He do be saying we a lot. And then the other team, he's a Blackhawks fan, and then he was a Cubs fan. I will say this, baseball, he's a bandwagon fan. Because he was a Cubs fan. He still got that W on the wall, but he got a big dumb Sox hat ordered in, and he's saying he's a Sox fan now. I don't know how that one works. You know what I mean? I don't know how that. He's gonna be that dude that's like, hey man, like I'm a fan of this team. I don't know. Pepe says, I don't know how people just pick a random team to like. Just doesn't feel the same like watching your hometown team win. I will say this, right? On top of it, I have to say, like, I am going with Jackson State this season for college football because I've never been a college football fan. I've never been a college football fan. I've never had a team. I've never had anybody I rocked with. So like, I was just like, I like Deion. I like what they're doing. I like Jackson State. I'm going to watch Jackson State this year. I'm entertained by them. I'm intrigued by them. I want to see how they play, how they win. I'm going to root for them. I have no attachment to it other than Deion Sanders. But you know what? Once I get all this Jackson State stuff in, I'm probably going to rock with these mugs for the rest of my life. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just follow Deion around. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. But I literally don't have an attachment to that team based on where I'm from. I just like Deion. Like, he's always been one of my favorite people. I've always thought of him as a very a guy whose story is very motivational and really shows you where how you can change your life and turn your life around and really, you know what I'm saying, move differently to your successes, even while being wildly successful. So how did you and Hayes first meet? So here's the wild part. Me and Hayes have never met in person. Me and Hayes met that episode with you guys here when I was live calling the Bulls game. I believe we were playing Washington the first time or the Pacers the first time, one of them. But me and Hayes have never met in person. We hope to this summer. I believe he's supposed to be up here. But or I might be down there. You know what I'm saying? We might just plan a dig where we're able to get together and actually meet and do an episode live together. But me and Hayes have never met in person. And literally, we got together off of work ethic, wanting to be successful in this game. He got the job over at Locked On and liked my work ethic and was a fan of how I moved in the game. And so hit me up and said, yo, I'm going here. I would love for you to come with me and be the co-host. I was like, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like that's really how we got on in that whole you did. Like there was nothing outside of that. Now he's my guy. You know what I'm saying? Which anime coming out this I'm assuming you meant July. Are you most excited for? What do we got coming in July? There's crazy drops. Let me look it up real quick. Hold on. Now y'all get the nerd out of me. I'm on One Piece right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm watching some stuff on One Piece. This boy Luffy's so cold, bro. One Piece has got to be a goated anime out here. July anime releases. Let's see. What do we got here? Of course, One Piece is still coming. Hold on. I need this. Is there new AOT coming as well? I believe that new DBZ movie drops in that mug. I can't even find the anime releases for July. What animes come out in July? Okay, here we go. New Seven Deadly Sins. Got to get on that. That's a crazy one. Is that facts? That's not facts. Never mind. Release that. Oh yeah. The next season of Demon Slayer. Me and my wife just got caught up on that. That is probably the most beautiful anime I've ever seen in my life. So I'll definitely be in on that. What else we got coming out? I don't know. I can't find all of them right now. But I do know there's a bunch of them coming. My wife is going to be big on the new JoJo that's dropping. She loves JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. That is like her show. A new AOT is going to be dropping. I'm going to be in on that probably. The Bleach return. I don't know about that one, man. Don't worry about it. Let's see what else we got in here. Is that it for the? Oh no, there was one more. Somebody quoted. Yeah, we got a quote tweet. Chicago Bulls Central with the quote. Shout out to my boy Hayes. Oh man, this is a tough one. Who's done more to raise the bar in hip hop? Kendrick or J. Cole? Ugh. Who's done more to raise the bar in hip hop? Bruh, that's tough. Because you look at Kendrick, right? Like Kendrick, I feel like got Cole to the point where he got back on his pen. But I think Cole being more consistent with the music is the one that consistently was there raising the bar. So I'd probably have to give it to Cole. Kendrick always comes out with bangers, but there's such a gap with Kendrick, right? Ken Burke, you didn't like Kendrick last album? Ooh, that's tough. There's such a gap with Kendrick. There's such a it's not like Kendrick's last album didn't raise the bar for me. Kendrick's last album was a great album, but it didn't raise the bar for me. It didn't put hip hop on another level for me. I think it was just Kendrick coming back and being Kendrick. I think Cole has continuously improved his pen, which is crazy to say. And for me, right, which album was it that he dropped that I was like, nah, this is kind of elevator music? The Off Season was crazy. Forest Hill Drive is a classic. Was it KOD? I don't think it was KOD. For Your Eyes Only for me, right? And I understand people are like, oh, well, it was a whole story. It was a movie. It was this and that, bro. Like I was like, this is music that I play in the background when I don't really want to pay attention to something, but that I want to hear good rap on. KOD was a banger for me. And it had nothing to do with the bars. It was just for me, like the beats didn't hit for me. It just didn't speak to me the same way. But the other, like outside of that, right? Like Cole's dropped some KOD to me is a classic. The Off Season I love. Forest Hill Drive is a banger. The Off Season is crazy, bro. Pride is the devil goes so stupid on that mug, bro. That's probably that song spoke to me the most because when doing this, when you talk about like people like hyping your head up and all of that stuff, and you got to take pride in what you're doing, and then all of a sudden you're like you start to vibe with it, and you start to feel, yeah, I am this, I am that, I can move this way, I can do, bro. I was like, nah, bro, that boy coming stupid with it. So I would probably go Cole over Kendrick, but it's not a slight to either. They both in my regular rotation out here. Answer my Thanos question. Ask my question about Thanos. Oh, Levante said, ask my question about Thanos. I didn't see your question, bro. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go back. Or just type your question in here. But I didn't see your question on there. I thought I scrolled through all of them. But yeah, man. Appreciate y'all for showing love so far to the show. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. Kendrick last album was 12 bro. Hey, I rock with Kendrick last album, bro. I don't know about you, my boy. That was a fire piece of work right there. I will say though, you do have to send Shorty. What's the song with Kendrick and Taylor Page? I'm really bad at remembering the names of these songs. What's the song with Kendrick and Taylor Page though? I'm gonna send you any girl you talk to, just play that song for her and see how she react. If that's her jam, get out. That's not the chick you want to be with. If that's the song that she rock with the most, yeah, you got to get up out of there, man. That's not the chick you want to be with, man. She's probably toxic. She's probably a little bit toxic, man. Taylor, yeah. I'm saying, hey, look, probably a little bit toxic, bro. Yeah, you don't want to mess with Shorty in that situation. She's probably out here. She wants to have a type, like she's the type of chick that would be like, hey, I told you pick me up at 7 and it's 7:00, and you'd be like, but I'm here at 7. You'd be like, no, but it was supposed to be 5, but you just said 7. No, I didn't. Okay, well, I got nothing. Yeah, I mean, like, you don't do that. Get up out of there. Hey, man, we got the NBA Finals tonight. We are going to be live calling this mug. Oh, by the way, before we get to that, if you're in here live watching this mug right now, man, go ahead and do me a favor and
Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push a button.
hit that like button, subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talks. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. We've got Bulls. Good Lord. I keep saying Bulls. We got Warriors NBA Finals happening tonight. What are you guys' expectations? Game 4 is here. By the way, we will be live for Game 4, so we hope to see you in the live tonight. Tune in and rock with us on that. B Kid, Ringo, all in there. It's a Friday night, so you know what that means. We're gonna be enjoying some drink. What are you guys' expectations for tonight's game? Who do you have winning that? I'm intrigued to see how the Warriors respond, right? Because I will say this: the one thing about the Warriors that I thought that they could keep up was the intensity they had defensively in the second game. The intensity they had defensively in the second game. In game 3, it seemed like they weren't able to keep up that intensity. I thought they were going to be able to come out and really kind of be like, hey, we're able to play this physical style of basketball. We're going to be able to play, the Celtics aren't going to bully us around. They're not going to push us around. We're going to be good to go. They haven't. And game 3, that size and defense really rocked them. Watch cats pop up facts. I was thoroughly surprised by the Celtics, or not so much the Celtics, right? Because the Celtics have played that style the entire season. The Celtics have played that style the entire playoffs at a minimum. So I know that they're used to that. And we got the poll going up here. Who wins tonight? Vote on the poll in the chat as well, Celtics or Warriors. But I was surprised that the Warriors weren't able to keep up that level of intensity with it. Now, here's the thing. Is that going to matter? Is that going to matter if they come out shooting this thing? Last time we saw the Warriors out there, yeah, I mean, off of a loss. And the last time we saw the Warriors in this situation down 2-1, the next 3 games, Cooks came out Chef Curry with the pot boy. And here's why. Here's the most intriguing thing about it, right? This is the game the Warriors want to get. Of course, you want to win game 3, right? But going back to Golden State, this is the game the Warriors want to get. And here's the interesting thing now. You're talking about a team. I felt like going into Golden State that the Warriors were going into Boston, that the Warriors were going to have some struggles because of how much they rely on their younger guys on this team. Because of how they rely on the younger guys on this team. Jordan Poole has never been in a situation where he's in the opposing team stadium and he's trying to get his shot going with everybody else going at him with this intensity in the NBA Finals with these stipulations on. He's never been in that moment. Gary Payton's never been in that moment, and it showed. Tell me they didn't look shook. There was a play out there. I talked about it on the pod that's over on the Patreon with Kid, man. We kind of went into, we recorded it before game 3, so we kind of went into what game 3 was going to be like. But there was a play where it was Payton to Poole, Poole to Payton, Payton to Poole. They coming off of screens, Poole to Payton. And nobody wanted to take the shot. There was about 2-3 wide open shots there. Nobody wanted to take the shot. Until Clay came up. All of a sudden, Clay comes up. Clay gets the ball, pulls it, and he's like, yo, we got to shoot. You got to shoot. They look shook. Will they look shook now that they've been in that environment before? It's all about how you adapt to it. And this is the game the Warriors want to get most. Game 4 is the game you want to get most because guess what? You're going back to Golden State now. You win tonight, you go back home where those young guys are comfortable. Now everybody's shooting well. Now you're up 3-2. That's a very different scenario. Now the Celtics are pressing going back to Boston. And maybe it does. Maybe it does get to a game 7, which I hope to God it does. Here's my thing about doing this, right, with the finals. I'm always the same. I want my prediction to be right for a credibility standpoint so people are like, oh, Pat was right all along. But it doesn't matter to me because the players got to play on the floor. I want to be right, but I always want the finals to go 7 unless my team's in it. I always want the finals to go 7 because I'm not ready for basketball to be over. I'm not ready for basketball to be done and over and done with. I'd love for this series to go 7, go back to Golden State. We're talking about Warriors possibly in 7. Or Boston in 7. I hope so. I'm not ready for basketball to be over. You know what happens when the NBA ends? And we've already had all of our offseason content already? I'm finna be talking about baseball. Because that's what's happening. You might get some nuggets from training camp here and there, stuff like that, but I'm finna be talking about baseball. And Mug's finna stop watching. He's like, oh, Pat talk about that baseball again. Nobody want to hear about that baseball. Yeah, I mean. And I get it. Listen, I don't want to hear about that baseball all the time. I turn on ESPN 1000. They talking about baseball, and I listen because those are my guys, but I also listen in and out. Because I can only hear about trash Tony La Russa making bad calls so many times. That's what it comes down to. Tony made a bad call again. Am I surprised by this? I'm not. But I'm intrigued by tonight's game because I feel like this is the game Golden State needed most. And now you're talking about a game where the Chicago, stop saying Chicago, Pat. You're not here. Hey, maybe I'm talking next season into existence. Maybe this is me having like we're in the finals. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna just wake up and be like, oh, you were right all along. You're talking about a team in Golden State where they're young guys. You knew they were going to be uncomfortable going into the situation, but I didn't think they were going to be as uncomfortable as they were. I didn't think Jordan Poole and Gary Payton II were going to be nearly as uncomfortable as they were in Boston. They looked uncomfortable all night. They looked like they didn't have it all night. They looked like they didn't know where to go with it. So my prediction for tonight, I do think that the Warriors will get it tonight. I think we'll be tied 2-2. I think if the Warriors don't win tonight, Draymond will definitely be ejected. But I do think that the Warriors get the dub tonight. I think that it'll be a close game, another fun game to call. We're going to be live for it as well, so make sure that you got the notification setting on so that you know when we're going live. Don't sit there and watch you know what we got to do too? You know what y'all got to do? I'm going to ask y'all this favor, right? Because a lot of people that go over there and they just scoreboard watch and they can't really see the game. I'm going to need y'all to go in there and take my link and just say, hey, go watch this game over on the Windy City Breeze. Go watch this game over here so that we can get that mug cracking tonight. It was pretty fun last time. I think we had like 100 people in there, which ain't bad. But for us literally never doing a national game. And that's also going to be something we want to do a little more of next year, where if the Bulls ain't playing, maybe we do a national game that night or something like that. But dog, it's some bad channels over there. It's just a scoreboard, and I guess you get. I think they do play the sound from the game though. I think they do play the sound from the game, or at least the radio call, one or the other. But tell them come on over to the Breeze, man. Let's have some fun tonight. Let's get this mug cracking. I got Warriors tonight. I could be wrong. I may be wrong. I'll say this: if the Warriors go down 3-1 tonight, are they a good enough team to come back? If the Warriors go down 3-1 tonight, are they a good enough team to come back? That's interesting to think about. You can't count them out. And you would assume that they win in Golden State at least one more time. I would, even if they lose tonight, I would pick them to win in Golden State. So you'd be 3-2. Can you go back to Boston and close it out? Or with a world championship level team on the floor versus a team that's never been there and is trying to close out for the first time, do we see an epic collapse? That's the part that's most interesting to me. No, Clay's not 100% healthy. Nobody's 100% healthy. He don't get. Jason Tatum's got one arm right now that Draymond was trying to hurt. Nobody's 100% healthy. Steph's got a bad ankle now, which is going to be interesting to see how that comes back. But I'll tell you what, I'll bet you Steph would come out torching that mug tonight. Although he's been shooting crazy great the entire series. He just needs his team to step up. And Draymond out there making podcasts. And I'm going to be real with you. I don't care about the podcast at all, whether you're good or bad. I could care less about the podcast in the slightest. Make your money. I love new media. You know what I'm saying? I love what he's saying with that. I love how he's going about that. But my thing is this. You can't be nearly as cocky as you are on the podcast after when you played as bad as you did. And it was bad. Don't get me wrong. It was 110% bad. So I have a tough time with that one. Yeah, I mean, I have a tough time with that one. You can't be nearly as cocky as you are about it. Oh, we've been here before. You still down 2-1. But man, hey, look, you can be just as cocky as you want if you come out and win, man. That's all that matters. If you can be just as cocky as you want if you come out there and win. Hey, look at that. Jackson State all over the man, that's creepy. I say Jackson State's name and they pop up on my Twitter feed. Bro, the government don't even hide it no more, and we just live with it. It is what it is. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. As always, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again. Glad to be back at y'all for another week. Make sure if you haven't done so, you hit that like button and subscribe to the page. We're gonna have content dropping today. Me and Kid actually watched. It's actually in the full podcast over on the Patreon side. Also, check that out, man. I'm serious. Like, if you guys have not done so, sign up over on the Patreon side of things, man. It's only $2 to sign up. Help us out, man. We've got the Views from the Bleachers podcast over there. Get in tune with us on that. And like I said, just $2 to sign up. You get that exclusive content, some extra content if you want to just keep listening throughout your day to your boy. We do react to Michael Jordan versus AK. Michael Jordan played against AK in a game in 1997, and AK was giving it some go. AK had the torch. I'm not gonna lie to you. Watching it gave me and Kid all new perspective on how AK is making his moves. So y'all check that out over in the Patreon, or if you're a Breeze super fan, you can get access to it. I see some Breeze super fans in here, so Tail, you should be able to get it. I think Tail might be the only one in here right now that's a Breeze super fan. If y'all want to re-up on that, you know what I'm saying, but that you can get that exclusive content in there. But yeah, man, as always, it's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. We will see y'all tonight for the Chicago Bulls. Good Lord. Hey, we in the finals next year. I've said Chicago Bulls too many times. We'll be live tonight for the Golden State Warriors versus Boston Celtics. Game 4 NBA Finals game. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. Y'all stay safe out there.